It's the People's Podcast Show with Adrian Biddle, Melissa Bartlett, and your boy, Kerry Bigsby. It's your show, so tell us what you want to talk about. It's the Roundtable Podcast Show.
We are live. Hello, family, and welcome to At the Roundtable tonight. We are so happy to be able to see you guys and talk with you again today and this evening. You know, I've been looking forward to being here with my brothers. We got Carrie taking care of some administrative technical stuff. So me and A Money gonna carry this right now. What's up, A Money?
Hey, nothing much, Melly Mel. Nothing much. Just gearing up for tonight's episode as well. Looking forward to it.
Right,
Um, so
right.
so how was your day today?
Actually, the day wasn't too bad. I can say I am noticing that we are going through changes, as far as work, and then there's changes happening at home. I'm prepping for another senior, so at any
Mm,
given week, any given day, there's emails, deadlines. Oh, I forgot, on both parts, mine's and hers,
yes.
and yeah, so you really don't have the opportunity to kind of get caught up in being in a pandemic or in your
hmm
head because life is still going on. It's
This
just
is true.
different.
This
But
is true.
other than that, my day has been great.
This is true.
What about you?
Jeez, I'm starting to have what I call the COVID fatigue. Just
Mm,
being feeling like caged up and not really being able to be social like we normally are. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, so dealing with that and but blessed to be able to, work from home still and
Yes.
spend a little bit more time with the family. And in addition to that, I actually catching up on some of this trial, this second impeachment as well that's in the news. A lot of videos they done shared that was not made public before, and it's been really enlightening.
So I've read it. I haven't watched it. I say, you know what, I can't.
Hmm
However, I am staying abreast on, what's being reported. And it is interesting that now all of a sudden, all of this material and resource and evidence has surfaced. So
Yes.
it'll be. I'm curious on what and how this is going to play out. Definitely.
I hope it plays out like it's supposed to, because I was mentioning it to Carrie right before you came on. I hope it's still some people on in the Senate and the House that has a conscience, because a lot of the details that are still coming out right now in their
Mm-hmm.
presentation and the videos that they've been showing and interviews, it's really no but one conclusion that you can come to, that it was an insurrection and it was pretty much uh, promoted by 45.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that this is the scary part. To have someone like this in the position that they were in, president, you know, the commander in chief of our country,
Mm,
to stoop to those level, to me, of pettiness, but dangerous.
very.
Um, you know, uh, that's scary, and to have followers that
Yes.
that will do the same. Um, it's
hmm
it's very scary, and it makes it an uncomfortable atmosphere and an uncomfortable climate to function in.
It is. It is. The most telling part about it to me is that I didn't realize how delicate a democracy is, and over the past couple of weeks, having your fellow countrymen pretty much almost overthrowing a government
Yeah.
is real telling.
And so
And
that's why you have those countries that say now they're using this as an example, who do not practice democracy, to say this is why we don't have it. This is why we don't believe in it. So it's so many layers that, immediately you see the effect. And then when you broaden the scope, you see how much more, of an
Mm-hmm.
effect that it had. So all those people that's been fighting and protesting and may have even been close to swaying their type of government and judicial systems,
Mm-hmm.
now it's gone. It's over.
Yes,
So
this is true. Well, moving on to more positive things, I like to, and on behalf of Melissa and Carrie as well, thank a lot of the new viewers and then the people who've been following us that just
yes.
recently liked the page. So thank you, welcome, appreciate you joining us, and please share, give reviews also. Love
Yes.
reviews. Let us
I
know.
love reviews. I love
Yes.
reviews. Please comment or inbox. Or you can just say, great show. But I'm always looking to improve. I'm always looking to be better. So I have had some people say to me, they like it or they wish that I seem a little forceful sometimes. Seems like I'm drowning out the guy. So I've been trying to make sure I fall back a little bit on that. And I love stuff like that because it just helps me be great. So I see Keith join us. Hey, Keith.
KB, where you been at, man? I mean, it felt like a decade since we had you on, man. How is it going? Hoping everything is fine with you and the family.
Yes.
Miss
Terry. Hey,
Terry.
Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Terry, I need some more sweet treats soon.
Oh, gosh, boy. Y'all can't go wrong getting some of her treats.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hmm. So, what else is going on, Mel?
I'm trying to embrace. Well, let me start that over because that's not going to be accurate. I'm being careful on making sure that I express why I'm not that big on Black History Month.
Hmm.
I feel like it's not while it's something that is celebrated more and being recognized more by different corporations, different networks. Now we have social media platforms to add to that. I still feel that for me, the biggest compliment and the biggest victory for our Black history is to be included in American history and taught all year round, not just highlighted on a month, spotlighted a month, the shortest month out the year, matter of fact. But we're not going to say anything about that either. Stop editing American history and include all history that's American. So, while I do enjoy having more entertainment, more facts, more segments on news shows, in the forefront of it just still shows how lopsided it is because, after February 28th, it's like you're not going to see that anymore.
Yeah, so it does, in your not speaking on you, do it feel a little disingenuous?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes, it does. However, I digress on that.
Well, folks, we know we have a special guest that's coming on very shortly. We're gonna have Alvin Garrett, Grammy nominated songwriter. He's gonna be joining us tonight. We just got a notification. It should be momentarily when he joins us. So that's what we're gonna be talking and dealing with today, this evening, and pretty much talking about his successes in the music industry. You know what? Speaking of music, I always wanted to be a singer.
Go ahead.
I just never had the guts to do it. And I don't think I
You
can hold a
probably
note.
can sing. You probably can. Well, I
Very,
do,
very wishful thinking.
but I don't. Like karaoke night, I used to do it around here. I used to do a lot of karaoke nights. Excuse me. And then, of course, I sing in church. So, but I grew up in a family of singers. and I thought one of my children was gonna sing, but they don't. But they are artistic in other ways. So,
Yes.
but yeah. So I say, if you want to sing, go ahead and sing. You do a little something.
All right. What's going on,
Look like I
fam?
might be saved by the bell. Saved by the bell.
You
No,
say
you want to
them.
say about the bill? Sing,
I
bro,
was about
sing.
to
Well, I
get
tell you what,
him.
if you don't want to sing, I know somebody who will sing.
Yes, yes. Let them do it.
All right. Well, what's going on, family? It's your boy, Kerry Digsby. I am ill remiss to not introduce the two people that have been holding it down for me while I've been gone. We have the pit bull in the dress. Her name is Melissa Bartlett, as well as Mr. Adrian Biddle, a.k.a. A Money. Why do we call him that? Because you
bring it.
can bank on it.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. But without further ado, we get to introduce this amazing brother who is the pioneer of inspirational soul. Yes, I'm about to bring him on, so y'all get ready. The one, the only, Alvin Garrett. What's going on, bro?
What's up? What's up, man? I like the way you said the pioneer of inspirational soul, baby.
I just said that someplace, far be it for me to do my homework on this amazing artist and stuff, because you and I go way back, man.
I know, man. I know.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is a truly an honor to have you on board. I would like to introduce you, brother, to the pit bull in the dress. She's the one who keeps everybody in line on here, even our guests at times. It is Melissa Bartlett.
All right.
Now that sounds a little threatening. I don't want it to come across that way. No.
I was about to say, I don't know if you'll be able to keep me in line.
It's certainly in a good way.
It is always a good way. It's always a good way, Mr. Garrett. I'm so excited to have you on and hear your story and hear your journey. I cannot wait to get into that.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to talking with you as well.
Right. And then, of course, we have the fact checker himself, Mr. Adrian A. Money Biddle. He is the one that actually, makes sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and we're in line because, we can't get no lawsuits. So that's the man.
We can't afford that right now. Welcome, Mr. Garrett.
He keeps me in check, Mr. Garrett. He's the one that keeps me in line.
Oh, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, all right, family, who's going to start this off? Because, again, this brother, if you didn't get a chance to check him out the other night, Friday evening, and his concert, it was truly amazing. It was definitely different than what many of us would normally see. So, I want you guys to definitely get a chance to check it out. But I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and handle it. I'm a man. I'm gonna sit back because I've done this before. But you guys, y'all about to be blessed. Hold on a second. Y'all go ahead.
Well, I will say even before y'all get started, but man, he did the most just amazing summary, blog about the event, and I was like, wow. I mean, I read it and I was like, man, you broke that down so beautifully. So I appreciate that.
Oh man, my pleasure. I mean, again, that night was definitely memorable, and I think in light of everything that we've been going through with COVID, you brought something that no one else has really done. And everybody's used to the verses, so-and-so versus so-and-so and everything. But your concert that evening, it was intimate. And the way you brought in different elements was really cool. So I had to write it as such. And I was telling Tangi that as well. So I definitely want them to, and the people that keep me in line, these two right here got a chance to watch it as well. And they were astounded by it too. So thank you.
It was great. It was a nice change to a COVID Friday. It was a much needed.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Look, we might have to use that one right there.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What was it about what I did that made it for you so different than what you had seen in other live streams from other artists or productions?
Are you talking about me, or is this going to you?
The Pitbull, she said it was a different kind of COVID.
I think you have there's other artists that have done streaming concerts, jazz concerts. To me, when it's something that's genuine and there is a vibe, it goes through all, penetrates through all wires, all video, all streams, and it's different. Carrie brought up the verses battles. While they are entertaining, to me, I still haven't seen one that made me feel like the one between Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. The key word for me with your performance and your production, your concert, was intimacy. You drew me in to make me feel like I was there. I wasn't sitting in my chair in my bedroom. I felt like I was in a venue, and I had a great seat. And so you have some people that will do these concerts, and their intent may be great, but they just don't have that soul. They don't have that full fulfillment that's coming through in the music and the lighting and the stage and the actual performance.
Well, I appreciate. What A Money? You had something you gonna add before I
I was just gonna piggyback off of what Melly Mel Pitbull was just now saying. The thing that I noticed throughout that, as she just stated, was the intimacy and the storytelling with your song. That's something that's key right there. That's something that you don't hear a whole lot of anymore. And that's the thing that actually grasped me with listening to a couple of your songs with the storytelling. So are these life experiences, or where are the ideas coming from? Because I can tell you old school. I can tell you
You're
old
one
school.
of my questions, A Money.
My bad.
You had already opened up the jar.
I'm sorry. My bad.
I told you she was the Pitbull in the dress. Did I not just say that?
No, I think that's good. Go ahead, A Money. Go ahead. I'm just joking.
Well, I'll say this to address the production element. What I always do as a producer, because I spent many years as a musical director putting concerts together, being on stage, being behind other artists, watching faces, right? So I always produce music and shows I like to say with empathy. So there are artists where I would stand behind on the bass guitar, but I look at the faces of people and I would say, well, they react to these types of songs, or they react to these types of moments. So I've always been the type of person that says I have to create productions that people can feel, right? And so even at the beginning of the pandemic, when people started doing live stream productions and I would watch, I couldn't watch for very long because it sounded dry. It just felt stale and sterile coming across the internet. So it's like, it just, as a consumer, I didn't like it. So I spent time thinking about what is it like to be on your side of the camera. A lot of people won't put reverb on the voices. Like it's just dry. Think about it. It's like you just hear dry voices in any type of space. Like right now, I'm in a room. You hear the reverb. You know what I mean? So I get with my sound engineers. I'm like, put the right amount of reverb in the ear, because it creates a humanistic voice as opposed to this dry digital sound. So I know that's very technical, but that's how meticulous I am to get that experience. I'm saying the lighting, show the room, show the crowd, show that people have on masks so that the viewer can feel comfortable and relaxed. Like, nobody's gonna die at this event. Even psychologically, that matters. Seeing how spaced out people are. So with my production team, I say, pay in the room, show the kids, show that this music is safe for young children. So I intentionally had my children there, a couple of friends I invited, say, bring your kids, teenagers, because I wanted people to say, whoa. And even if you didn't consciously think it, you felt it, like something safe about this music, because I see kids, I see space, I see mass. So all of that I took into consideration, and not just what I'm doing on stage. So I'm very hands-on with every element of the production so that I get exactly what you just said. I feel like I got a good seat in the house, and nobody would feel comfortable right now in a room like this.
Right.
So if you saw that, if you saw people jammed in there, you would feel like that on this side of the screen, which is why I don't sell tickets. I don't even let people pay to come in my room. It's special invitation only, because I have to manage the distance in the space so that my live stream audience won't feel the anxiety of the pandemic. I don't want you thinking about that. I want you listening to the music. So I would venture to guess that neither one of y'all watched it and said, man, I hope nobody catch the COVID. That didn't cross your mind because you saw people with masks on. You saw all the empty space. It was spaced out just enough where you don't have to think about that. You can enjoy my music. And I think a lot of times with people who are putting on live productions, you know, they're not thinking about all of that. They just like, you know, let's just go online. We just putting some out there. But I appreciate you sharing that this is how you feel, because that is the level of detail that I go into in addition to the storytelling. Now, to answer your question, all of my songs are written to where I can extract it and tell and write a book about it, tell a story. You know what I mean? And where I get my inspiration from varies from song to song. But I'm always able to if you say, hey man, what were you thinking during that song? What were you thinking about that? I could go on and on and on about it. So when I'm on stage, I can present the story behind the song and connect the dots. And so even with this latest project, The Lightness of Love, every song has a connection, you know, sonically, musically, lyrically, it connects all the way to the end to make you just, let me go back to the top and listen to it again, back to the top, because it's a progression. And I think with art, with putting projects together, that was one of the things that I loved about old school music is, you know, you could tell that they thought the projects through. Like they didn't just, oh, let me make some music. Let me put 12 songs together, 20 songs together, throw it out there. No, they would think it through. Like, you know, Marvin Gaye, like we're going to have this prevalent instrument. We're going to use these. It was consistency. It was cohesiveness with the production. There was a theme to the album. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stevie Wonder, what is it? Songs in the key of like, you know what I mean? It was, there was a theme from top to bottom. You didn't feel like they just, you know, got together and threw something out there. So I'm the same way with my music. I want it to be, it feels sonically and lyrically cohesive from top to bottom. So when I am doing my live productions, it feels like you're being drawn into an experience. So I appreciate you all drawing that from watching it, because I put a lot of work to make sure that that's what you experience.
Yes,
you
indeed.
touched on a couple of my questions that I have for you. So for you being a writer and an artist, how is it when you have the business part of it? So, you know, business isn't too kind to creativity. You have a different timeline sometimes. So when it's time for you to either produce something for yourself or you have a client and there's a deadline, do you find yourself struggling because the timeline is not giving the creativity time to come, or do you work great under pressure?
Oh, I work very well under pressure. I'm an ex-linebacker. You know, pressure don't. My word, pressure don't bust no pipes over here. No, real talk. Yeah, real talk. Pressure with me makes a diamond. I'll give you a quick story, and then I'll go back to your question. During the show, I had actually planned. I wasn't planning on singing all of the songs until I got the sound check and started singing them during sound check and realized, oh boy, I got to sing these songs. So I literally, at about 2 hours before start time, sat down, went back into the computer, reproduced all the songs, gave them to the production team, and then changed the show in a matter of, you know, but most people wouldn't have pulled that off under that kind of pressure with that type of timeline and get up there and sing, right?
Right.
And I'll say that does come from, you know, me. I honestly say, you know, taking karate growing up, playing football, you know, high pressure moments to me should bring the best out of you. And so my background is in business, right? I studied business. I didn't, you know, I got a degree in business. I didn't get a degree in music. So, you know, running a business, running an operation, logistics, I'm as much of that as I am creative. So I'll say I'm kind of a hybrid to where I can operate in both worlds fluently and passionately. So pulling things together, you know, operating with a sort of a human resources function, making sure that I'm not only picking talented people, but people that have the right spirit, that aren't clock watchers, that aren't like, hey man, how long we got to go? Nah, we work till we get it right. And everybody on my team knows Alvin's going to be the first one here, the last one to leave. Let's meet him on the battlefield. So I pick and choose my team wisely. And so lately, I'll say lately, I have not been working with a lot of other artists since the pandemic. Number one, my studio, I'm not really allowing people in and out. I prefer not to do that right now. But even when I was working with a lot of people, I did a good job of balancing, that deadlines and taking care of my own aspirations. So my problem is when I don't have anything to do. That's a real problem.
Yeah.
So what do you do with if you're not? What is it outside of the music that gets Mr. Garner through the next day, Mr. Garrett through the next day?
I mean, life. I'm a dad. You know what I mean? I call myself a family administrator. I got family, I got things to do. Get the kids to school. Got work. Got to pay bills. I work with the reentry program here in Birmingham called the Dannon Project. So, I mean, when I say there is not a day that isn't full and busy for me, and honestly never has been. In 2002, I left corporate America to run my own business. And one of the things that I knew once I took that leap of faith was that these 40 hours going to have to be 60. But I got to work. You know what I mean? If I don't put in the hours, then I don't get paid. So I haven't been one of those entrepreneurs that's sitting around, looking for things to do, bored. Nah, I've always been the person that said, if I don't create the work won't come. And so I don't really have a day where work is not a part of my day. And even my family understands that. My kids understand. They're like, Daddy's working, and when I'm working, they know this is kind of a sacred time because they know that's how I get all these nice things for you. That's how we're able to provide the life. Private school, all these things come from how hard Daddy works. So I explain that to them so they value the time that we spend when I'm not working. So work is a part of my everyday life.
Wow. Well, this like shameless plug. I grew up in Montgomery, just 2 hours away. So
okay.
Knew that was gonna happen.
Hey, you got to love folks from the Gump, dude.
Got to love from the Gump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing I liked about the concert, Garrett. It was cool for you to have your daughters there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because so many times, parents, when we're parents, we're sitting there and we're telling our children, this is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. When they see the fruition of everything that we've done, it clicks in their mind. And I think you did that because watching, they were like in it. They were zoned in. And like you said, those are your two AR, at the house. So, everything goes through them technically. And that was so cute when you mentioned that. And they were in it to win it. Like, it was so cool.
Yeah, they're my little A&Rs. And man, they brutal, bro. Like, I'm telling you, A&R department. No, I'll never forget. My little one, this Greer, she said it was one song. And I said, what do you think about this, Greer? She said, I don't know. It makes me sleepy.
Wow.
And I was like, we're not using that one. So I'm like, and they'll tell you right away, man. If it's right, they'll say, "Oh, I like that one." Even with the music, before they hear the words, they'll tell you. It just clicks. They'll know. And so I'm like, you gotta listen because they're so objective. You know what I mean? And they don't know how to filter and make up stuff. And they just like, I like it. Oh, something feel good about it. So I roll with it. So I trust them. And plus, also, I use them because I care about my children. I use them to make sure that the lyrics I'm right. I'm framing it, phrasing it in ways that when you're in the car with your kids, you're not skipping songs, you're not hitting that volume button, because I was intentional about that, because that's something I loved about old school music. Is that that's why it lives for so long. That's why it's so timeless. Because if you were talking about something sexual, you were talking about it poetically in a way where you don't understand. You get grown. What they were saying. Like, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't a car. It must was a right. Okay, well, there was some poetry about things that, you know what I'm saying, that were more adult, to where the young kids could sing it and then grow into the true understanding of it.
And then
So,
cover your mouth and say, oh, that's what that song was about.
exactly. So I love that in terms of the artistry of that, and even in my song, My Gift to You, I sort of slipped in some play on words there in that song where I felt like, okay, I'm being slick right now. Grown folks, but it's like, oh, the packaging, yay! Like, nah, mom say the packaging, you know what I mean? So I to me, I feel like that was a good artful challenge to write music that I could say, yeah, let your kids hear it, turn it on around the house, and then hopefully create a new generation of R&B lovers, of soul music lovers, because that's one of the things, especially in our culture, we're losing connection to the music of our predecessors because they can't listen. You know what I'm saying? Like every generation gets further and further away from the appreciation of music that came before them. Like, I don't want to hear my mama music. You know what I mean? And I think we suffer as a people because we don't value the music that was created by those that came before us,
Amen to that. Amen to that.
I see them coming in over there, Karen.
They are. Shouts out to Mahogany Tabiti for joining. She was watching the concert as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Latosha Carson, the business queen herself. She's been watching it as well. We were sharing it Friday night, and everybody was just giving their kudos about it and showing the love. Shouts out to Robert Connor for joining us on At the Roundtable. I got to share this with everybody. One of the things that was so astounding to me about, because you were talking about it earlier, as far as the show and what everyone liked, I think one of my favorite parts was the interview with your parents.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I take that? Mel, my bad. Did I do that?
No. You know, I am very I love family.
Yes.
I love family and food. Like, those are my love languages. So, to have, again, when I said intimate, all of this is under that umbrella. So yeah. That was what the face was for. I was like, oh.
Yeah, to me that was amazing, because the fact that you did something that, you play sports, so you know how it is whenever you play sports and stuff and you get on TV and the first thing you give a shout out is to mom. Oh, thank my mom, But what you did was you brought both of them together, and you gave credit where credit was due in regards to how your parents and their love, their lightness really inspired you, and then it caused you to kind of actually did write that song, which was amazing. But you gave all kudos to your parents, and your dad was real cool with it. Dad was like lean back and he was like, yeah. Well, I was like, go ahead, Dad, just do it. Smooth. Tree. It came from you. It was amazing how you gave credit, though, and it really speaks testament about you as an artist, because that's what we're missing today. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I realize is I'm one of the few people. Not everybody can do that, even if they wanted to, because they don't have parents for whatever reason to even go talk to about something like that. If they have parents, maybe they had a troubled upbringing. So I realize more now than ever before that I'm so blessed. And not that I've ever taken it for granted, I have not, but realizing how rare it is, to have two parents who love each other the way my parents love each other. And it's really special because they both agreed that when they saw each other, they knew we were meant to be together. And I didn't have enough time to put that in there, but that was a part of the interview. But it was like, yeah, when I saw her, I knew it. She's like, when I saw him, I knew. And so they've always acted that way, like they were created to be together. And I've never seen, like I say, they've never argued. And even through troubled times of life, mom would always, she's like, son, I cannot, do that to your dad. Even times I'm like, mom, why don't you just handle it? She's like, no, I couldn't do that to him at a low point of life. You see what I'm saying? Just even the way she supported him through tough times and the way he always treated her affectionately. There was never a time where he wasn't hugging and kissing on her in front of us or letting us know that we are the most important thing in life to him more than anything. And so I've seen that. And so that song in it totally describes what they've lived and what I've seen growing up, you know, and it gives you something to aspire to.
Oh, I feel my chest getting tight over here. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So for the viewers coming in right now, again, we're being joined by Alvin Garrett, Grammy nominated songwriter, producer, bass guitarist, and vocalist. Now I'm about to get in the head of a songwriter, if you don't mind.
Come on.
So I want to know the process. I want to know the process, because I know it varies from different people. But being that you are such a prolific songwriter, my question for you: when starting off writing a song, does it begin with a beat, or does it begin with just something that you done went through? And then on top of that, I'm just thinking musically, because like you said, you just mentioned that you think about the bands and everything, being that you're also you play an instrument as well. So I want to know how all that comes together, if you don't mind.
Gotcha. Well, honestly, lately, you know, I try not to box myself into how it comes to me, right? But I do have a process once I lock in on a vision. So that first song I wrote, like I mentioned in the broadcast, it was called Go Together. You know, when I heard the music, it just made me feel like, you know, like, whoa. It just made me feel a certain way. So for some reason during the COVID shutdown, when I got away from the noise of the road and the noise of being on stage and just kind of got quiet, I started feeling the music differently. So if the music feels happy, I'm like, oh, I feel happy too, you know? And so I would just sing what comes to me. So that song, Go Together, I didn't write it. I just started singing it. So it's almost as if the song was waiting inside of me to come out. You know what I'm saying? And so and once I started experiencing the song with my kids, like I played it, then I was laying in bed one morning, I just heard The Lightness of Love, LOL. It was like the concept of the album popped in my head in what it meant, which is this feeling that love is light, love should not be heavy. And I said, oh, I'm gonna make an album. And then I searched to fit everything else within that concept. And so I made sure that every song I wrote told the story of the lightness of love, or a feeling that you would get, like you say, that soft spot. You know what I mean? When you're thinking about, you know, when you're like, man, she can ask me for anything. You know, that's my baby. I got a soft spot for her. You know what I'm saying? That's a light conversation, or you know what I'm saying? My gift to you, or just all of the songs have a lightness to them. So once I give myself parameters, and as a writer, you know, I actually teach through a songwriting curriculum that I have. I teach the process of giving yourself narrow guidelines by which to write. And most people hate boxes and hate guidelines. I'm a creative. I let it come to me and I flow. Well, that's like joyriding. You're gonna be driving, but you ain't getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I like to give myself a narrow set of parameters for which to speak and have my conversation musically. And so this project, it had to say the lightness of love. It had to support that feeling, that regardless of what the relationship was of each song, it had to support it. And once I lock in the music, the songs just kind of come to me, because I know I'm having a specific conversation, and I'm not talking about partying, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm not kicking it on this album. I'm not talking about, you know, racism on this album. That ain't this album. That's The Awakening. You see what I'm saying? Yep. That's a different album altogether. If you go listen to that album, it's not light at all. You know, you feel the heaviness of that conversation, because that's what I wanted to say. So it's more so, as a writer, I have my own process of writing songs, to where if you gave me a topic right now, I could write a song about it. But I make sure that I box myself into a certain group of marketing perspectives as well, because everything I do with marketing has to line up with the music. So I'm saying that feeling you all got, I was like, hey, let's make sure the set looks and feels light. Let's make sure everything feels like the lightness of love, from the colors to, you know, the lighting to even the light band. I was like, no, I don't want a full set of drums. I wanted the band. I said, don't bring 2 keyboards. That's too much. It's the light love sound. So I even broke the band down to very small pieces because I wanted it to feel light. So, you know, I think I answered the question. Yeah.
You did.
You did. You definitely did. Shout out to
Interesting.
Charlie too. She done joined us. What's going on, Charlie? Guess who we have on? The man himself, Mr. Alvin Garrett.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey.
She was on there. She
Oh, what?
actually shared it. Yeah, she's out of the VA area, so she was sharing it with folks as well, talking about now I get to share some good music. That's what she said that night. So,
Yes, thank you, Charlie. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Man, and you know in the VA, they know good music in the VA, buddy.
yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick question in regards to the set. Who came up with the concept for the set that evening, like the whole layout? You?
Well, no. I have a wonderful team. That's Joanna Shepherd, and she's with Value Rose. Actually, she's one of the country's leading event planners, wedding planners right here in Birmingham. And so that was her concept. Of course, we sat down in the team, and you know, and I give people autonomy to be creative, and they see the parameters. You know, so she came up with the set, had it built with her team. And so, that was Joanna Shepherd. And so what I've done basically is through the pandemic, you have a lot of talent here in Birmingham, people who have national credentials who are maybe moving around touring. So I just found all the best people in each industry that were independent contractors. Hey, let's make a team. Let me invest in keeping y'all working, but bring me all of that talent. You know, we've been out here making everybody else look good on the road. Bring that over here. And let's apply that on, you know, so that's what I've been doing. And so we, you know, I'll say it, I'm trying to build Hollywood in Birmingham, you know, so it doesn't exist. You know, we're not in Atlanta. We don't have movie studios everywhere. So all of what you see is me grabbing a bunch of inspired, hopeful, independent contractors, lighting engineers. My guy, you know, Eric Doss has toured around the country with award-winning artists right here in Birmingham. I'm like, hey, come do my lights, you know? So I'm basically creating jobs. And it's an investment. I'll be honest. It is an investment. But what I have found is that the appreciation from my people who would otherwise be sitting around with that talent not being utilized. I'm like, man, let's take a shot to show the world something. And when things pick back up, man, we got something. You know what I mean? And so this is like our third production to where I'm just fine-tuning things. You know, we're still working, we're on a curve, but I have to give a shout out to all of the people that work on my team to help build these beautiful sets and, you know, lights and sound, you know. So like I say, just grabbing the best available people, not just in their skill, but in heart as well.
That's what's up. Yeah, because that set was amazing. It reminded me of back in the day, you know, when you sit and you would watch those shows, you know, those talk shows, you know, and they bring on the artists and such. You got the band playing off in the back, but they got them right smack dab in the middle, and it's just it's you and the audience, and you get your opportunity to share with them. So
it was my idea for the talk show vibe. Now that was my idea, but she translated it. Like I didn't tell her what to do, but I said I didn't want to have the big jumbo screen this time. I was like, I just want a talk show vibe. So I gave her the concept of the vision, and she translated it into that. So yeah, that actually was my idea. I was like, yeah, I want. You know.
Yeah, you get your pack. Go ahead. So this is probably a unfair question and maybe a difficult question.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? Am I delayed?
Oh, we hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry, A-Money. I was just going to ask a question.
Yeah, we hear you.
It's probably unfair. And it's probably a difficult question. Out of all of the beautiful music that you've created, I'll give you two.
Okay.
What's your favorite song for your own personal production, your own album? And what's one of your favorite songs that you've written for someone else?
Okay. So, and this is just period, like overall period?
I'll get.
Just for this album?
I'll take a box. I'll take a wall down. You can say within the last 5 years, maybe, if you want to. I told you it's gonna be difficult. So
Well,
I said one of. I gave you an out. One of. That means there's many.
Okay, so I will say this. Be honest, I have not written much music for other artists in the past 5 years. I haven't done a lot of writing for other artists.
Okay.
You know, and I can talk to y'all about that if you want to know. But there's a reason why I shifted with that. But I would say the song By Myself, which I released in 2015, is, I'll say, whether it's my favorite or not, it is the most important, right? And so it is on any given day, my favorite and most important song that I've ever written, because it was the song that defined me as this pioneer of inspirational soul. It made me find Alvin, right? Because writing for other people, I always knew how to get in the head of other artists, right? And to write for them, for their audience. And even in my music prior to that, I felt like I was doing the same thing, even with me. Like I was trying to sell something to people, right? So on my first album, you know, it was a beautiful album, Expose Yourself, but I was also trying to get the radio, I'd play something, you know, record something that the radio DJs would like, or that the DJs in the club would feel. So that colored my approach to the production and to the music and the writing. What other people thought about me was something I considered prior to 2015. When I wrote By Myself, it was like, this is me. This is me. This is how I feel. Y'all done told me no long enough. And if you ain't gonna stand with me, if you don't go with me, I'm gonna go on by myself. That was me making my statement to the rest of the world that I'm tired of asking y'all to help me. Friends, foes, it don't matter. I'm gonna do this thing. And so that was sort of the song that defined me. And it to this day, so many people hear that song and say it inspires them. But I could never put another song above that in terms of the meaningfulness of it. Now, I have other songs that I think, you know, if you're like, okay, besides that, do you have another one? Depending on what day it is. But that's the foundational song for everything that I do. That's what introduced me to my purpose as an artist, not just as a songwriter. And that's a difference. There's a difference between your artistry and your ability to write as a songwriter. And that song really, really showed me who I am to people and what they're looking for from me. Like, we want you to inspire us, Alvin, in your gospel music, your R&B, inspire us. You the voice we want to hear when we want to be picked up or when we want to feel something. And so I've embraced that and I love it. Like, I really love making music that makes people cry or think about a deceased loved one. And I get those testimonies all the time when people hear my music. It's like, oh man, I know my deceased husband would have pulled me over on the side of the road and danced with me to this song. You know, I feel it when I play this song. You know, like, this is a real story for somebody to tell you that your song reminds them of how their deceased husband treated them and it made them feel better. Like, wow.
That's right. That's right. You can definitely hear, and I use this with my daughters a lot. You can hear your permission. You gave yourself permission from earlier albums to the current ones. And while all the music is great, there's still a difference in what is written, how it's performed, how it sounds. You can hear and feel the permission of Alvin Garrett to say, this is who I am. This is who I am as a songwriter. This is who I am as an artist. This is how I want things to be done. You have it on your level. You have it on your kind of checklist. And it's in every note of the song. So
Yep. And that was and I'll say, you know, to answer your other question, which was what's the favorite song written for other artists, and I'll say my first placement with one of my favorite R&B singers of all time is Joe. And this song,
I was gonna say Joe.
Well, I'd rather have a love. Woo! You know, I was a straight up fan. I ain't gonna lie. I was feeling like a fan. I was like, ah! I ain't gonna lie. I was like, he's singing my song. You know, I felt like, I've read for a lot of artists, but when Joe, when they said Joe's gonna sing a song I wrote, and this was like 2012, 2013, I'd rather have a love. I mean, oh my goodness, because I would always imagine how he would sound on my songs. I was like, man, I bet Joe would sound great on this. I bet Joe would sound great. So when that finally happened, and that was a really exciting experience for me, for him, because I am still a fan of him and his voice. So that was one of my best experiences with the song.
That's all right.
Okay, A-Money.
So not only are you a multi-talented musician, but you also give back to the community. Can you touch on the Dannon Project as well as the your initiative, the Right Life?
Absolutely. Well, the Dannon Project is a social services reentry program, a train to work program here in Birmingham, and actually we are the #1 Department of Labor funded organization in the community at what we do. And just over 20 years of service, over 8,000, people, coming through the program, becoming contributors in the community. It's just an amazing project here. And a few years ago, and the Dannon Project has always been a supporter of me and my aspirations musically. They always come to my concerts and support. But a couple of years ago, I had a vision to start a songwriting class in the curriculum, and they believed in me and brought me in to teach it to their participants. And over the years, we found that just this class has been sort of a transformative elective to all the other programming. And we've seen the students that come to my class, they start performing better in all the other classes. It gives them a positive outlet to make music. And as we all know, music is such a major part of the culture development of our young people, in terms of the negative culture development, shall I say. But we are building a program that becomes sort of like an antidote to that. So you can't use the N-word. You can't call women B's and H's. You can't do that in this class. It's a positive reinforcement class. It's a no pollution policy, and even down to the discipline that we train in our class. Like, hey, you can't curse in the class. Now, we don't punish them if they do, but they catch themselves. Man, you can't say the N-word. You know what I'm saying? Like, they respect it because we spread that love. I lead the way, saying love and respect in the class. So it gives me an opportunity not only to teach the tenets of songwriting, but to be a father figure and a big brother to young people who may not have had that, and to show love and know that I am playing a part of not just the music, but they're learning the things they need to learn to get out in society and never go back to jail again. And so that is the wonderful part of what we're doing here with the Dannon Project. And we're always open to contributions, dannonproject.org, to learn more about what we're doing. They can donate there. And also we're going to be releasing this music. And we've put a couple of videos out on YouTube, but we're ramping that up. I have a really great vision to get this music heard that they're creating. During the show, if people go watch it, we actually played a music video that we recorded. So I wanted to feature them during my live stream because I tell them, I said, look, as I go up, I'm going to uplift you guys. I'm going to show the world what we're doing here. Just stay positive, stay engaged, complete your classes. And if you're interested in music and really doing it seriously, we'll help empower you there too. So we have an entrepreneurial program that we can graduate them into if they want to learn about the basics of the music business and not just rapping, recording it, putting it out, rapping and putting it out. So we'll teach them that if they're serious. But the major goal of the program is to give them something positive to engage in as they're doing all of the other training.
Yeah, I love that. And you got to tell them the story, Alvin, in regards to that young man who was in that video and how his talent really shined just on that video alone. I think you were saying how long it took him to develop it.
Oh yes, man. The young man that was in the video that hopefully everybody go back and watch. He wrote that verse the day of and recorded it. It was one take. I mean, literally one take, and it was an and if you go break down the lyrics, I'm like, whoa, he didn't miss a beat. He wasn't all over the place. He really applied the teachings of the class in terms of that narrowing down your thoughts, and he delivered the perfect verse for the song topic, because in the class we have group discussions and we go through what are the pinpoints. What are we talking about? I don't want to hear about no partying in the club if that's not what the song is about. Don't freestyle on me. And so he just did an excellent job. And he's also one of the young participants who actually came and worked at my event. So he had a chance to shadow my event planner. So not only are we, teaching them how to make music and how to do that, we're giving them job opportunities. Hey, if you want to come work at my event, come on. And that's one of my bigger goals, is to have my participants running the cameras, running the sound. So we want them coming in shadowing my trained professionals. Let them intern so that they can learn other skill sets aside from their 9 to 5. So that's a part of the things that we're doing, not just making music, but hey, teaching you how to gig and how to pick up a little extra change so you don't have to make bad decisions to get a meal. So it's a very rewarding thing that we're doing. And so I appreciate you, asking about my man.
Yeah, he killed it. He killed it.
Yeah.
Oh, A-Money's thinking. I can see it up there. Look at it.
I was like, there's a lot of silence for all those brilliant minds on a lot of silence.
We get so eager, and so sometimes we kind of like. So I always make sure taking some criticism from some of our viewers to say, you know what, fall back, let the guys have a little, because I can talk and I can go and I can go and I'll take over. And I don't
it's black. It's time for Black Girl Magic.
Oh, speaking of Black Girl Magic, Charlie 2 said that's how we used to do it. Learn skill sets from others. Awesome. Oh, we got another. Shatoya Arnold, thank you for joining us at the Roundtable Podcast Show. Angie Bell, thank you for joining us. Question came up. Any thoughts on expanding to other cities?
Absolutely. Right now, we are building the model here in Birmingham. We're building the model. And we're already talking to other agencies about implementing the programs in their cities. And also we're meeting here with our school systems, talking about how we can implement this into the school systems. So, of course, I'm starting here at home, but I'm doing it in a way that we can spread out and implement this into other school systems, because it is very elementary the way I teach it. And I have it, the curriculum is very, very easy to teach. Of course, I add an extra flair, but once this is finished, because I'm in a modeling phase right now, just so I can have my evidence. So when I come to your town to implement this, they can see, this is how this can work for our school system. Because one of my goals, our arts programs are suffering. And I think it's because we're not going with the times. Not everybody's playing instruments. And I'm a musician, but not everybody's engaging the music industry with instruments.
Right.
They're making beats. They're marketers. They are branders. It's so many other ways to engage the entertainment that is artful, but the school systems are still blowing horns and playing piano, and that's fine. But the kids are evolving, so should we, right? So I'm hoping that this programming that I'm developing will become a part of, shall I say, the resurrection of our arts programming in our school systems.
I think that is so awesome, because our arts are gone. Let's talk about it. They pulled the programs completely. And then they're still very, old school in what they're offering. You got choir, band, and shop, if you get that. And you're so correct when it comes down to our children are on a different level. They are not us when we were, 5, 6, 7 years old. They are automatically catapulted to a different way of thinking and a different mental and learning level. And so the things that you're saying, oh, you used to have to wait till after graduating from high school, or you may get offered in college. These children are ready to give that and receive this right now while they're in lower elementary and middle school and high school. So the fact that you were approaching it from that way, that side of things, it makes me so excited, and I can't wait to be able to see something here in Charlotte or my actual hometown, Montgomery, or I have two hometowns, Mr. Garrett. I got Montgomery and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So
we're gonna hit them all. We're gonna hit them all.
Hit them all.
Yes. So that's right. That's the goal. And if we don't, and I'll say that's one of my legacy missions, and I appreciate you guys bringing me on, but I've been working really, really hard to get myself to a point where other people would want to hear what I got to say. Because, I understand as an artist, what it's like to be invisible. I've been there, be in somebody else's shadow as a writer or as a musician, to not have an opportunity to do this and talk to where somebody wants to hear what you have to say. So I treasure the opportunity to come share. But I've always been the person behind the scenes trying to educate and uplift people to learn how to make money in this business and how to create jobs in this business without being the star. And that's what I always say. I'm like, I've been here a long time. You just ain't seen me, but I'm driving good and I'm living good because I know how to gig. I know how to make money without being on the stage, without being in the light. And that's the part that isn't glamorized by the music industry. You don't glamorize all the support roles. But support roles are what more people can participate in. That'll be an alternative for selling drugs. Okay, truth be told, just being a band member in a wedding band or running a camera, $150, $200, that'll get somebody out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Just that kind of money would be the difference. And it's fun. It's positive reinforcement. So we take for granted that you got to make $1 million, or you're not the biggest rap star on the planet with $1 million jewels on your forehead. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't. Hey, teach his own.
Oh man!
But I'm saying, like, what is wrong?
They needed your program. That's what was wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, what's wrong with memorizing a good hard day's work if that is a supplement for a bad decision, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's what I'm all about, is teaching other people how to grind legally and how to grind towards something. So my success is only a testimony to somebody that I hope exceeds me in their career. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm all about.
You're teaching them to fish versus giving them fish to eat.
No, I'll give nobody nothing. Nobody. I'll give you information and the opportunity to work, but I'm not going to.
That's right. That's right.
I don't even know how to hand out success. You know what I mean? Nobody handed it to me. You know.
Mm-hmm. You have been successful in regards to that, bro. And this is the part of the show that I just hate. I hate it, but we get to that time, and we could do this all night, really. Yeah. Then Mel get in trouble, then A Money will get in trouble, then get a call from upstairs. So it's that time which we have to close. But we want you to definitely share with our viewers, how can they find out more about Alvin Garrett, the artist, the things that you're doing, the Dannon Project. Definitely we want to shout that out and such. This is an amazing program that is going on. And anything else we need to know, our people, our At the Roundtable family need to know about you.
I'll say alvingarrett.com. I'm refreshing and updating the website as we speak. And that'll be where you can just keep in touch with everything I'm doing. And also, I try to stay active on social media, the Alvin Garrett. That's on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not a Twitter guy for some reason. I ain't quite got into Twitter. But Facebook and Instagram is my two platforms of choice. And that's the Alvin Garrett for people that want to stay in contact there. So I would love to hear comments, certainly about the music or anything else that I'm doing. I love people. Like, I love people. And that is one thing that I'll share before we go. For anybody aspiring to be in this business, you have to have a genuine love for people. You know, if you can't stand the people that's gonna be listening to your music, you might want to find a different field. And there's a lot of artists out there like that. They don't like people, so people aren't here to serve you. You're here to serve the people. You know what I'm saying? And so I always keep that at the forefront of what I'm doing. Is I'm here to be a servant to you all, to your life through my music. Y'all not here to cater to me. And I've seen that with other artists. They're like, hey, cater to me, get me this. And then they disappear. You know what I'm saying? Because people like, I'm tired of serving you. What about me? Make me feel special. And so that's my approach to everything I do. I'm here to serve you guys with wonderful music and experiences and through my time and service. So I thank y'all for this opportunity to talk to your supporters.
What's up? That's what's up. Neil?
Yes. And family, don't forget to go out and listen to his latest album, The Lightness of Love.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed.
You won't be disappointed. Not at all. Not at all. Well, I'm just going to say it's been a pleasure. It's been a joy. It's been an inspiration. It's been fun. And it's just, I can't wait to see what else comes, what else happens, what else is Mr. Garrett going to give to us in the upcoming months and in the rest of this year. You know, please stay motivated. Please stay doing what you're doing because you have something special that definitely is breaking the monotony and the heaviness of this pandemic right now. And I'll speak for me personally. You know, I have, you know, a couple of the albums on rotations now and added to the playlist because you need that to keep you going. So please, please, please continue doing what you're doing. And thank you so much for what you've already done.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to keep at it. Thank you, everybody. The Lightness of Love. Go rock with it.
All right, family. Y'all heard it first this evening on At the Roundtable podcast show. If you did not get a chance to watch the show in its entirety, check us out. We'll have it on the YouTube channel as well. It's At the Roundtable podcast show. We'll have it up, of course, on Facebook. Definitely share this because I think the message that is in it is not just the music, but it's also the man behind the music and the things that he's doing in order to help uplift our community. Again, check it out, share it. Y'all heard it first right here at the Roundtable podcast show. I get to introduce Melissa Bartlett, aka Pitbull in a Dress, A Money, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Alvin Garrett. Thank you again. And I'm your boy CD. Stirring it once again. Love y'all, meaning. Y'all be good.
Y'all take care.
Woo! Can we jam, y'all? This is good. This, you know, get my little step on like. Come on, y'all. Oh. Come on, y'all. Say la la love. Say it's love. Say every time I see your face, there's something about you takes me away. Oh, your glow, your shine, your everyday vibes, relaxing like we're in an oasis. Ooh, no fight. So when I'm with you, girl, oh yeah. Say, girl, I know that it's love. Come on, y'all. It takes me away. It's the light. Oh, so delightful. Oh, some call it cloud nine, but I prefer to call it your presence. Oh, some say they falling in. Well, there's no tripping when you're in heaven. Oh, there's no fight. Listen, so when I'm with you, girl, oh, it's that look. Oh, say, girl, I feeling that? It's the lightness of love. Light, so delightful. So it takes me away. Said it's so delightful. It's the lightness of love. La la la, la la la. Say it's love. Y'all can sing with me now. No delay, huh? Say la la la. Say la la la. Say it's love.